'Twas the night before Christmas, actually a little less than a week. We had plumbers strategically locating the smallest of leaks, knocking holes in the walls in the hopes the leak was somewhere. It looked like if they were playing whack-a-mole at the Puyallup Fair. The teenagers perceived to be nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of "I don't want to know" danced in their heads. Ever so innocently, they wished me a "good night." From under the covers, I spot a cell phone's blue light, and the nag, for the 100th time, gives them a tap. Hand 'em over before I give you a backhanded slap. And they think I bask in the glory and each opportunity to scold. Boys, I hate the sound of my own voice. Just do what you're told. You're such a nag, rolling their eyes, putting me to the test. That, my minions, is because I learn from the best. When in San Diego there arose such a clatter, we sprang from our beds to see what was the matter. My sweet Thai sister-in-law caught a bird in the house. We rushed to meet it. We weren't sure if she was going to keep it, free it, or saute and eat it. The sun shining in San Diego, the Balboa tennis courts below, as the griffins convey community, which they always bestow, when what to my wondering eyes should appear? But Nicholas is in high school at Nathan Hale this year. Not quite yet driving, so lively and quick, tennis, baseball, and soccer, it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, these players they came. We whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Kate, now Em, now Mia, we yelled in bass and treble clef. But none of them answered. Well, perhaps because they are deaf. 25 years after Joy and I got to play in a World Cup of our own, we got to coach the deaf national team in Italy's time zone. Our experience was equally memorable and insanely fun, especially hoisting the trophy that implied the U.S. is still number one. It occurred to me, as it always does when we neared the end of the tourney, the collective spirit, the struggles, and memories, they were wrapped in the journey. My awareness enriched of not just the deaf, but all with a variance of ability. If you are brave and open your heart, what growth arrives with vulnerability. Now Lucas, now Eli, now Chargot and Jaden, on Stella, on Michaela, on Solomon and Mason. Get to the fields, coach those kids, kick that soccer ball. Show your skills and thrills, but show your patience above all. Show them how to pass, dribble, and especially trap in between pass to Jack, Tony, clap, clap.
Right go, left go, twist the torso.
As Uncle Mark surprised the boys on the fly when they met him at SeaTac and mounted the sky down to California for lunch, the three of them flew, with nothing but smiles, and most likely a fun story or two. And then, in a twinkling, Husky soccer came to a conclusion. Not the finish we'd hoped for, but there were some intrusions, a U20 World Cup, and a few injuries that pulled players out of action, and the election could have possibly been the biggest distraction. Insightful discussions, a sharper perspective this election deemed. I found comfort and strength by being a part of this team. Outsiders made it clear we fell short of the expectation. Inside, I have a firmer grip on what I stand for, without hesitation. And then in a twinkling, UW football is filling the stands. 70,000 plus on their feet, cheering and clapping their hands. A surprise visit from Mary Beth helped the dogs to a win, and then they proceeded to repeat it again and again and again. Who cares if I'm bitchy enough to be both menopausal and still have cramps? The dogs are Peach Bowl bound, and we're crowned Pac-12 champs. Leslie packed her bags and headed to the land of the rising sun to get a peek of Layla June, a.k.a. granddaughter number one. Her eyes, how they twinkled, her dimples, how merry. Her cheeks were like roses, her nose like a cherry. Her droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and Leslie's heart pumping and inside aglow. Zach happy to show Grandma his little family of three, and get spoiled just a tad by his mom named Leslie. A wink of his eye on FaceTime gave me nothing to dread, and I smiled to see he was losing some hair on his head. No time to say many more words, but get back to work and be thankful that the boys have not turned into jerks. Thankful for parents that continue to support me and cheer year after year, after year after year. Occasionally Papa lays a finger aside of his nose, and giving an erratic nod, he begins to doze. but they can be found cheering at one of Ben's games or cooking a holiday meal, their claim to fame. It's time to hang up the stockings and get off to bed. Please believe that 2017 could be the best year ahead. If we don't shoot for the stars, we'll sell ourselves short, regardless of the news or Twitter's latest report. So stick to what you're good at. Stick to giving your absolute best. The more you give of yourself, the more you will be blessed. So spring from your sleigh, your bicycle, SUV, or your bus. There is power in numbers coming together. The future, it's on us. If you rally your pals for a good cause and give a loud whistle, I'll jump on board as if we were kids with the early dismissal. There's much to be done. There are so many good causes. It's like we could be a multitude of each other's own Santa Clauses. We don't need magic or elves or a flying reindeer stampede to know what people in our community genuinely need. An ear, a hand, a ride, some cash, a meal, a way to connect. Support, some help, your trust, a smile, at the very least, one's respect. For a neighbor, classmate, colleague, friend, each its own opportunity. Before you know it, you've added value to your own community. I'll help you exclaim over and over again if you take on this plight, that you will not only have a happy Christmas, but countless good nights. Merry Christmas, everyone.